What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Reckless here once again. Got another Zoom interview here for y'all. Gonna go right back to the East Coast. This time, I'm really excited to have this special guest with us today. He's an amazing artist, reviewer, music critic, and glad to have me on the show right now. The homie John D. Contradiction.
Hey, appreciate you having me, man. For real.
It's all good, bro. It's been a long time coming, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're a fan, so glad to have you on the show.
Yeah, man. Good shit, man. Yeah, we've been quietly, we followed each other, not quietly, but we followed each other. You know what I'm saying? You followed the page. I see a lot of shit you've been doing, and it's dope. Like, it's dope to see underground, artists and just underground supporters, period, coming together and actually doing things, because that's something, everybody, music now is just mainstream stuff, or who has more followers and this, that, and the fifth. So
yeah, it's kind of whack, but we're bridging the gap, we're changing things up and shit, you know what I'm saying? Coast to coast too, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
which is dope.
Yeah. All right, so for the people out there who don't know, tell us how you got started in the music.
Oh man, so my music journey, I mean, it's DNA ridden. So my grandfather was like a big musician in Haiti. He was like he was a big musician. He was in a compa band, and they used to play music. They were huge out there, and it kind of just went down with my family. A lot of self-taught instrumental, like people who did stuff like that. And then even moving down to like just my bloodline in general directly, like my older brother was, he still raps. He's actually on my last release. My older brother raps, and he was dope. And I've always just loved music. Like, music has always been my thing, my go-to thing. And it kind of ties into why, I started like the review blog and stuff like that. Cause I was always that guy that I would buy, I would go to FYE or Coconuts before it was FYE, and I'd buy all sorts of CDs with whatever money I had. And I would just tell people about artists all the time. And then when streaming happened, I was in my bliss. I was like, yo, streaming. But I always used to write. I was always big into poetry and shit like that, young light skinned kid shit. And then I was big into like the punk scene. So I was in like punk bands and hardcore bands. And I used to front these bands, and I loved it. It was just the purest energy. And then at one point, I started mixing in a lot of the hip hop with the punk and the hardcore. And it was like my favorite things. Like, my favorite genres of music is like 90s hardcore and 90s rap. So I started to kind of blend them with like the more thuggy hardcore type shit back in the day. Yeah. And it just spoke to me. And once that kind of died down, and I had, whatever happened with like my bands and like breakups and shit like that, I was like, yo, I want to do some solo shit. So I was like, let me just rap, let me just keep invested in the music. Like, I don't need a band. I don't need these people to keep me going. I could do shit on my own. So I've always been into music. Like, I've been making music for a long time.
Yo, bro. And what kind of bands were you into back in the day? You know what I'm saying?
Bands?
Yeah.
I am a 90s. So
I am like on the Alkaline Trio, High, Beyond, like all that shit.
So I fuck with old school Alkaline Trio, but like me, I am like a hardcore like enthusiast. Like, I love old school hardcore, like Agnostic Front, like Murphy's Law, fucking. But I grew up, originally I was big into thrash, like New York thrash, like SOD was my fucking band, Municipal Waste was fucking dope, and I was big into like Sepultura and shit like that, and like, obviously the goats like Slayer, first four Metallica releases, shit like that. So I was like, yo, I loved thrash because it was just pure energy, and I'm a gamer, so like it just works. And one of my homeboys that I met in high school, he was like, oh shit, you like thrash, because you expect some tall fucking gooned out Queens black kid back in the day, coming from Elmont and shit like that, liking, thrash. So he was like, yo, let me show you some shit. So he started to put me on to a bunch of hardcore, and I fell in love, bro. I was like, this is perfect. So, like, even if like, all my tattoos are like my favorite hardcore bands, like the Descendants, like Milo's one of my biggest influence. I got fucking Blood for Blood. I got Gorilla Biscuits, fucking Circle Jerks, fucking Sick of It All, Social D, Biohazard. I got a bunch, like, and these are all like my favorite hardcore bands. Like, I fucking like love till this day. And honestly, the older I get, the more I realize how they taught me my politics. They taught me not to be a fucking sheep to just the shit that, everyone else is just jumping on board with. So I'm super grateful for finding that music and getting that introduced to that and kind of being a part of that scene. Cause I was pretty big into the hardcore scene, especially of Long Island, back in like the prime era of like the metalcore days, the 2006 and shit like that, 2006 and up. and stuff like that. So I'm glad to be a part of that. Like this last few CBGB shows and just a lot of iconic things like ABC No Rio, shit like that. I'm just grateful that I got to see a lot of this. And as much as it hurts, I'm grateful that I saw a lot of it end. I was there for that. So it's just dope experience. Like it's just dope music for me. Like that's my shit,
Hell yeah, dog. Okay.
Yeah.
And like when it comes to the rapping, when did you pick up the pen and decide to start making your own music? You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, so I used to do a lot of poetry when I was young, and I always loved poetry. I mean, it was slick shit. I used to write poetry to the girls. All my like first few girlfriends used to get poems and shit like that. And my brother was big into rapping. My brother was a huge rapper, and my brother is like, he looks like Tupac, which is pretty fucking funny. He's like a diehard, like he knows everything about Tupac. Like he's read every book about him, knows every story, knows all the people connected to it. He knows everything. And I grew up listening to a lot of Tupac. I loved listening to a lot of Tupac and just a lot of like the West Coast funk sound, and I fucking loved it. Like old school Snoop and shit like that. And I was like, bro, this is wild to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And just watching him and do all this stuff, I always used to just like, I dabble. I would write some raps over if I heard like a beat. I might have written like 40 different rhymes to Skilo's I Wish to that beat, just to that song. And I would just rap over it when it came on the radio. And I was like, I would fuck around. And I used to like, what people don't know, I used to freestyle. And I used to freestyle a lot. And not even like when I was ready to like pursue rapping. I just thought it was fucking hilarious. And I used to freestyle stupid shit. But I used to like find stuff on the wall and crack jokes. And just, it was very funny to me. But it was, once it started to develop and I was like, this is more than a party trick. I was like, fuck it. Let me start writing some of these thoughts down. And, it was a very young age. I might've been like 13, 14 when I was like, yo, I'm going to start writing. And I realized I can channel different emotions just via writing. And it was like, the more I would write different things and like express different things, the more I would feel while I'd write them, whether I could write something that made me sad reading it, or if I wrote something that made me laugh, I was like, man, maybe this can go to other people. And when I officially started like rapping, that's all I've been trying to capture. And that's like a lot of my sound. Like a lot of people say I make like sad boy music, but like it's a mix, like it's realistic, it's not like just like breakup shit. It's what happens after breakups, what happens when the dude's at the gym losing weight and he hates all women. Like this is the shit I want to write about. And it just fit. And it's also how I got my name. Cause I was just going by John D. Cause I was like, I was trying to be J. Cole. And just one name with a letter. Yeah. One name with a letter. This is cold. So I was like, let me go by John D. And I played shows. And what people didn't realize from playing all the hardcore shows and all that sort of stuff, my energy was wild. So I have near zero fear. Cause like once you play a hardcore show where you see someone like get stabbed or like you're getting fucking guitar swung at you or someone's throwing spin kicks, you're not afraid of shit. Like a rap show is cake. So I would have that crazy energy at my shows, but be playing my like sad boy shit. And people be like, yo, you're a whole contradiction. Like, cause I used to play my sad ass song, but then I would talk shit and I would crack jokes in between the set and I would have energy. So dudes are like, bro, you don't make no sense. You're a whole fucking contradiction up there. So I was just like, hey, I like that. So it fits my theme. It fits how I write because people are walking contradictions. Like we never mean every single fucking thing we say as much as we try.
No, most definitely. Yeah. It's crazy. It's cool. It's still how like names come organically like that. It just like gets, dubbed to you and stuff like that. Compared to other people like me who just fucking like came up with the fucking name and shit. I got my name from a Yu-Gi-Oh card, dog.
Hey, fire. Fire. I know you like it. I know you like your Yu-Gi-Oh. I know you like your anime and shit like that.
I do. The whole room is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So talk to me about the scene in Long Island, New York. How's your borough doing? You think it's in a good place right now, or how do you feel?
Oh man, no, man. I've been on a fucking path to try to revive Long Island for so long. And the thing with Long Island, bro, Long Island has this huge chip on its shoulder. And it honestly started since the beginning of hip hop. People would travel from Long Island to the Bronx and all the places where hip hop was pioneered and claim those places. Like you got artists like fucking like LL Cool J who barely gives Long Island love and he's from Long Island. You got artists like,
I didn't know he was from Long Island.
Yeah, you got mad artists. There's only few artists that really claim, like EPMD and shit like that. They'll claim Long Island. Like Rakim will claim Long Island. And like there's so many artists that would rather be like, nah, I'm from Queens, fuck Long Island and shit like that. And like that kind of chip on its shoulder, it just left long because like Long Island is 50-50. Long Island is like where it's where fucking old people go to retire in most people's minds, but it's suburbs and there's hoods in between, but it's more suburbs and retirement places than most. So it gives you this whole like, well, I got to represent my small little fucking chunk of Long Island and represent, and like these little areas, because they're so segregated and separate, everybody has fucking egos and everybody's cocky, or everybody's, if they're not a cocky, like ego, asshole, then they're a fucking spoiled rich kid who is out here just trying to capitalize and steal from people and shit like that. So it's in shambles, bro. We barely have a hip hop scene out here. And it sucks because like I know mad dope artists from out here, but none of them fucking know who each other, or they don't know each other because they don't have time to worry about the scene. There's no scene. They don't want to know anybody else who raps on Long Island. Like people are shocked when they hear certain rapper. Oh, he's from Long Island. Like, shout out to one of my favorite Long Island rappers fucking doing it right now. Rome Streets, bro. Rome Streets is from fucking like, he's from like Hempstead, bro. Like, and you'll never hear that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's saying that. He might have dropped maybe a line about it in fucking, in a song or some shit. But like, there's artists that like people just don't give love. And like Long Island's just very filled with that. So it's very hateful. And it sucks because that's why I was like, I tried really hard. Like NotYaManz was a lot of a movement. It was one of my second like hip hop movements that I started to really unify Long Island, and it turned on me. Long Island started fucking hate me for it.
What happened? Like, right? Just because you like get the red stamps, or
some people couldn't, and it sucked too because like I rarely reviewed people from Long Island because I would let other people do it to give that exposure. Like let someone from somewhere else do it, and if they got a red stamp, it's my fault. It's my fault. So they hate me for it. And that's what everybody does. Everybody comes at me. And it's like, bro, this is a platform. I built this. This is for artists by artists, bro. Like this is for us. Like if you can't handle that, then you're in the wrong business because you're being mad about some dude who's literally giving you, you got roasted, but we're giving you a critical analysis and telling you that we don't fuck with your stuff. What are you going to do when TMZ blasts you and a bunch of their mob fucking eats you alive online? Like you're never going to make it in the industry. So
yeah. It's almost like practice before, right? Like, before you get there, what I mean? Because some people, when they get famous, they don't have this kind of stuff. They get hit with that TMZ, the Vlads, cutting shit out of context. And you just like, have to deal with that right away instead of having that experience. Like, okay, I've been there before, got those red stamps, it's nothing. Whatever.
Then and that's the thing. That's the thing with like, especially with the industry, there's that like limit, right? If you're someone who's been through the fucking thick of it, if you're like a veteran rapper, right? You got Nas, he could put out good, he could put out bad. He handles both well because he's been around so long and he's seen it. He's put out his, albums that people didn't love, like people getting mad at Nostradamus and shit like that. And that's fine. But then you have artists who've never seen that, right? So you got an artist, I know a million artists, but like anyone, any new age artist, bro, anyone, they put out one release, right? And after that one release, they get shitted on, not even shitted on, they get praised and they never grow. And then everything they put out, they're just getting shit on. And they're like, I don't know why people are haters. They have nothing to bounce back on. They have nothing to motivate them because their first release was the best. So they think they're the best. And now people have to be haters because why would I put out garbage if I'm putting out the same thing that's all people know? So it leaves them no room to grow. So they're stuck. But then the people who fucking sucked, who got their ass kicked, they fucking come out to be some of the best fucking artists. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh. There's people that we've given red stamps to who I fucking wholeheartedly follow now because I'm like, yo, they're dope now. Mm-hmm. I'm like, shit, we gave them a red stamp. That shit lit a fire on their ass. And I'm like, good.
Good. Any examples you want to give? You want to share?
Oh man, my favorite one. He changed his name, but his name, he goes by Nolan now, but he used to go by Young Moriarty. And we hated him, bro. We gave him like 3 bad red stamps. Like he got a negative, he got a 0, and he was just putting out some weak shit. And he fucking stopped making music for a bit. He found himself. He started really working with his beats and working with his melodies. And he's dope now. He's super dope. And he's from Sacramento. He's doing a bunch of dope shit. Yeah. And he's dope. And he's doing like, he's doing like the young type shit, but he's doing it with like heart. And his sound is clean now. And he's going nuts. Like him, he's fucking dope. Man, I can go through a list. There's a couple artists that just fucking go nuts after, especially right after. Like we gave we posted his review today. I mean, I don't know when this is gonna get posted, but this dude who I fucked with, his name is Precise Politics. He got a red stamp from us, his last review, and he kind of stopped talking to us and all that shit. But then he put out a project just now that I put the review for today with called the Bash Brothers, and it's wrestling influenced, and it's fire, bro. It's fucking gas. But shit like that, we love to see, bro. Like we love to see shit like that. Or when dudes like NK47, you know NK got like a yellow stamp from us and also, and he just kept telling us like, yo, I'm gonna fucking get a good score. Like, mark my words. And he got a 10 out of me, bro. He got a fucking 10. His last album was amazing, bro. I was like, bro, I never thought he had this in him. You know what I'm saying? And he fucking went nuts. Like, there's people, we can name a bunch of people, like there's people who take the criticism, there's people who don't. And it's not to say that like the criticism, you know, is music is subjective, but you know, music is subjective, but at the end of the day, if you don't want to impress someone or have a reason to do it, then why the fuck do you do it?
Right. You know, probably just like some arbitrary reason. I need money. I want the fame. And
that shit is corny. Like that shit is mad fucking corny. Like you got to you got to put in some sort of work. Like not everything's a fucking quick, easy scheme, you know, like some bullshit. So the people that want it, they don't even listen to the compliments anymore. Because you don't want to plateau. You don't want to be that artist that just never changed their sound. And like, they're just nowhere, you know, especially if you're up and coming. Where the fuck are you going to go if you're up and coming and you plateaued? Like, you're not going nowhere.
No, you're stuck where you're at. You know what I mean? It's like when you grow, you experiment, see what happens.
You try shit out. You test your fans. You let them know, hey, I'm not only doing shit for y'all. You fuck around a little bit. I do that shit every year. I put out almost 3 releases every year. And I always do one rapidy rap one, and then I do one sad boy one, and then I do something a little experimental just to fuck with people because I don't want anybody put me in a box. I'm like, I'm an artist. I am not just a fucking rapper. Like, I'm an artist. I produce. I can sing a little bit. I fucking rap. I do hardcore. I can do a bunch. So I put out mixed of shit just so, you know, people know like, yo, I just want someone who's making dope music. Let's work, you know?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
What would you say is your main goal in music? You know, like your main like objective you want to achieve, you know what I mean?
My main goal in music is to cause chaos. To the mainstream. I want to be the fucking Joker of hip hop to where I burn down the mainstream. I want to watch it burn. I want to fucking all those like, oh, we support this artist mobs and they want to cancel people. I want them to burn. I want the mainstream media to burn. All the awards burn. Like I want it all done. I want to cause calamity. I want to one day, if a review comes out for an artist because they underestimated their fans to where it drops their stock, where they lose money. I want to cause chaos.
That's fucking dope. I respect
the I want the underground to cause chaos. I want people to realize like, fuck these big industries that just pump blind, endless money into garbage. I want the people, like the real fans, to realize that we can still put up a fight. We may not be able to generate as much money as like these fucking farms and these big media bullshit, but we can cause enough trouble to, if this artist has 1 million followers and he plays a show and 3 people show up, we can do that. We have that power. And I want that. I want to call it that. Because I want young artists. Like I want young artists to be I want them to be in the know. I want them to be uplifted. I want them to learn. I want them to be students. And I want them to fucking love music because I want original, fun fucking music. And I feel like that the mainstream is trying to kill that. The mainstream is trying to kill people experimenting and having fun. And it sucks because like there's so many dope talents out here who are just like, yo, ready to give up because no one sees them, because there's a whole fucking scheme on marketing. There's a whole fucking money gate to marketing and shit like that. So my main goal besides the chaos is I want young artists to feel like there is an actual community. And not something you have to just build where it just focuses on me. Like, no, that's garbage. A fucking community. Like people going to old school hip hop shows back in the day were going to, that's a night out. Let's go have some fucking fun. Let's go rap. Let's be competitive. Let's choose a side. Let's get after it. Not, oh, let's go because this is popular and my parents bought me tickets and I'm going to do drugs and not even listen to it. And they're going to sit on stage and lip sync over a background track and then leave without giving us an encore. Like that. What the fuck is that? Make them work hard. Like there's no other NBA players work hard. theater performers work hard. Why are we letting these artists not work? Like, they're getting paid. That's their job. Let them work.
Yeah, dude. It makes sense.
Yeah, let them fucking work. Like, I want to hear every false breath. I want to hear him gas. I want to hear him fuck up a line, bro. Get after it.
Yeah, dude, especially nowadays where like streaming's a thing, so your CD sales are never gonna fucking make you a fucking day like it was in the 90s. So you gotta make up for it touring, doing your fucking shows, doing crazy shit. You know, make sure they witness greatness.
Yeah, and like real greatness too, because like a record is one thing. A record can be whatever you want it to be. And that's the beauty of on like things on wax. That's the beauty of engineering now and putting out music. But live, I don't want to hear the exact same thing. I don't want to hear exactly what I heard on the radio on stage. I want a fucking show. You know what I'm saying? I want a performance. I want to hear. You ever see Chris Brown? That motherfucker be dancing and shit. I love it. Like, give me a show, bro. I want to see fireworks, or like, I want you to sound better. Like, slow the BPMs down on your tracks when you play live. Do something to make this shit hit. Like, we can't let people get away with this easy shit, bro. This shit shouldn't be easy. And that's why there's a lot of clowns in the industry that just come in here and fuck it up. Like, they're worse than the fucking appropriators and I call them rap gentrifiers. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're worse. They're worse than the people that we absolutely hate. Like, they're worse. These people come in here and they ruin it. Yeah. They're clones, and I don't know. Shit is whack. Like, there's no originality. There's no fun.
Nah. They feel like, oh, it works. Let's do that. Yeah. And like, whether it fits me or not, let's just make some fucking thing going. Get some streaming. Yeah. But what do you think listeners get from your music, or what do you hope they get from your music?
From my music?
Yeah.
Honestly, my main thing when I make my music is I want people to just understand how honest I'm being. And I want them to understand, like, this is someone trying to make beautiful music out of something that wasn't beautiful, out of something that was harsh, out of something that was real, out of like just real feelings. Because like, to me, a lot of my music, a lot of shit that I do with my music it's a lot of venting. It's a lot of saying shit that I can't say in real life. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, I know that's like a cliche line, but like, no shit like, oh, I can't say I love to you to girls. No, like, it's hard to be like, for example, I'm a father, I have a kid. I have a little man. He's turning 5 in a few days. But I know he's nuts. But for me to put like in songs how I really struggle with fatherhood, as far as I don't want to be what I never had. You can say something like that, but to really jump into the detail of shit like that, to me, is super honest. Or like, me fucking like on my fucking project, I had that song where it's called I don't even remember the name of my own song. I'm a fucking mess, but it's one of my most played songs on the album. And I was just like, I say real shit where I was like, yo, I fell in love with a lot of girls, even though they hurt me, but like, I couldn't tell whether or not I was being honest or they were being honest. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, the depth of that is like, you don't know if that person hurting you was their true self, or you don't know if them hurting you was because of how you weren't being honest with yourself. And it's just shit like that I feel like people don't talk about. Like, I mentioned how certain people I didn't realize growing up, I scumbagged without even knowing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I grew up on my own. Like, I've been on my own since I was like 13. So yeah. So it's like, to have, something as simple as like, oh, I want to hang out with a couple of my friends just so I could have a meal at night because I know their family's going to feed me. Really sitting back and thinking on that. It's like, was I using that person? Like, did I scumbag that person, or was I being a friend? And that shit that's the complication. Like, that's the complicated side of like real life that people don't want to talk about. Everybody loves things to be black and white. And I don't like that. I want things to be gray. I want things to challenge you and make you be like, hell, that's fucked up. Or like, sheesh, like that's dark. So that's what a lot of my writing is. And I like to get that raw emotion across. Like, you could be a guy that goes, oh, women are mean to guys. They don't like short guys and all that shit and something like that on a track. But where's the guys that's going to rap about like, yo, I fucking saved a girl from getting fucking taken advantage of, and she cursed me out because she was fucking hyped off of adrenaline and shit like that, and it made him feel like he couldn't even be around girls, or shit like people getting scarred like that, or just the fear of like girls, whether they're alone or not, having the fear of, you know, being around a human bigger than them, shit like that. Like people don't talk about. It's small details, but everybody thinks it even for a second. So that's what I like to put in my music. Shit like that is a lot of the context that I like to deliver. I want to deliver real, raw emotion, like real insecurities, you know, fuck all the everybody's got money and all that. But it's like, I want you to tell me about how you overdrafted to go hang out with your friends. you feel me? Like, and I wrote, you know, I write shit like that. Like I wrote shit like that. I wrote shit about like, you know, literally doing that. I wrote shit about a crazy weekend I had. I went out with my boys and I dropped like 600. And as soon as I got home, I was like, let me call the credit card company and yo, my shit got stolen.
Life. That is fucking life right there.
Yeah, you know, I had to go like a week or two without a card, but I got that money back. You know, shit like that is like, it's real, you know, it's real because you don't want to be that person. Like, you left out. You don't want to, you know, you want to be in the room where it happened. You want to see how the sausage gets made, all that shit. You want to be out there. You want to be there. So that's the music. That's the shit that I make. It's me for the, you know, I'm making this music for me, but you guys can have it. You know, the world can have it. You know, you feel me?
Definitely, dude. Like that's needed in hip hop. That's usually what draws me to certain artists, you know, like when I first met 1AM, like, she put out a mixtape called The Realist, and she had a song on there that was talking about like how she used to go up in the morning every day to put the bus to the Baytown, whatever it was, and like she like put in the $5 bill to go in, but they don't give change, so she had to like take the L and have no fucking money.
Yeah.
And it's just like I've been there so many times.
That shit's real. Yeah, it's very real. It's very real.
Real stories, man.
Yeah, it's very real. Yeah, it's very real. And like what's cool about that realism is not all of it needs to be sad. It can be happy. It can be beautiful. Like it can be something that puts a smile. Like I wrote, you know, I had a song on my project with my boy WLP. We did a few years ago. And one of the lines that a lot of my fans and stuff, people were just like, bro, that line hit. And it was me talking about like that feeling you get when you order something and you got, you know, extra fries in the bag and it's so small and you're like, oh shit, like French fries, dopamine, baby, you know, shit like that. And it's like, it could be that, it could be funny. You know what I'm saying? It could be fucking funny. Like I have like a crazy, so this is a struggle story, but it's funny. So my old roommates, my best friend and them back in the day will tell you, they'll attest to this because they hated it. But we had a struggle moment and we were all living in this fucking like studio apartment at my uncle's crib. It was 4 of us in one room, bro. It was chaos. But we were all best fucking friends. And we ended up taking a Costco card from my uncle. So I was like, bro, I ain't got that much money. So I bought 100 pack of Hebrew National hot dogs. Ooh. So I ate hot dogs for like a month straight, bro. I was sweating hot dogs. I smelled like, yo, if I went to the gym, I would smell like hot dogs. Like everything smelled like, it was awful. No. It was so bad to the point, like if I spit, it was hot. Like I was sweating it, bro. Like I had to do laundry because my blankets, if I sweat a little bit at night, smelled like hot dog. Bro. And now imagine that, and you in a room with 3 other people, bro. I was driving them crazy. It was miserable. So, you know, shit like that, you know, I wrote about that shit. And it's just like, that's such a struggle thing that like people can compare to even the small things. Cause it's funny. Cause it's like, bro, I get it, bro. Like you're mixing, you know, hot dogs with rice, hot dogs with macaroni and cheese, you know.
Damn it, man. Your gut hates you.
And I don't eat hot dogs no more. Like, you know, you know what I'm saying?
He ruined it. He ruined it.
Yeah, never again. Never again, bro. Some people get sick of tequila and shit. I'm off of hot dogs, bro. Hey, with that.
Shit, how was that restroom situation?
Yo, the worst. But it was all hot dog, bro. Everything was hot. It was nasty, bro. I would pee and it smelled like hot dog. Like everything was hot dog, bro. It was miserable to the point where I didn't even notice how bad it was because I got so used to it, bro. It
like fuck it. Living with this.
Imagine what my blood pressure was like eating a whole pack of hot dogs,
bro. In a month, you didn't get no diabetes or nothing.
Yo, I'm surprised I made it out. A good thing I was always like, you know, I worked out and shit like that.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Then, But we'll be talking right now.
I should have went to Coney Island and tried my luck during the competition, bro. Fucking that shit was wild.
You'd have been a consecutive winner.
They'd be like, he came here ready. He had hot dogs prior. I'd be like, nah, I just smell like that, bro. I ain't eating nothing today. No, but that's shit like that is like music needs that, because like how many I fucked your bitches, like, oh, you fucked every girl in the world. How many, oh, you have a chain. Who even cares about chains anymore? Hipsters thrift and they look cooler than you. Like, oh, you came from the mud. Like, why do you have 1,000 motherfucking friends in your video? I think you were fine. Your whole family looks fine. Like, nothing moves me. And that's part of why we're a little harsh. Like, it's hard for me to sometimes even review music like as just music, like, because it's like I do 2-3 reviews a day just on my own and just to backlog it. So I'm listening to so much music and I like they blend and it's like miserable. And that's why I get so get so enthusiastic when I find something good. Cause like I find maybe one good project a month, bro.
Fuck, that's sad, man.
It's sad.
It shows the landscape, man.
It's sad, bro. I'm pumping out 2-3 reviews a week. And that's underground and new shit like that drops on Fridays. And it's like, wow, this isn't unique. This is not unoriginal. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm like bland to it. Like, it's miserable. It's crazy though.
I can imagine, bro. Speaking of releases, how was the process of making your first album, We All Play Dumb? Like, and how come it took a while to put that out when it did?
Oh man. So We All Play Dumb. So there's a nice little history to We All Play Dumb. So I was putting out a lot of music for a bit, and I was doing a lot of the underground rapper thing where I was getting beats from people. I got scammed by some people. We all know the ropes. Like I had beats pop up on other people's mixtapes, and I'm like, I bought this exclusive. Like I spent this much money, and I actually will call one fucking producer out. His name is Luan Beats. He's from Italy, and he's a piece of shit. And he's literally 3 beats of his I found in a span of like 4 years just on other people's projects. 3 of them while I was with NotYaManz reviewing music. I was like, oh, I bought this beat. I own this beat. So, but either way, I put out a couple of mixtapes and I started off my career doing like a couple of mixtapes, and I started really diving into beat making, but I was trying to get comfortable with like, the softwares and stuff. And I was trying different things, drum machines and different, all sorts of different stuff, getting my little piano on. And We All Play Dumb. I finally started taking piano lessons, and I got me, I had the MPC 2000, the XL. So I started learning like on the real old school MPCs and shit like that. And I started working with like Logic a lot. So I was like, I want to put out a full project by me. And that was all me. Like I produced it, everything. That girl that's roasting me in the skits, that's my homegirl I went to elementary school with. Like we've been friends since elementary school. Stacy's amazing. She's a comedian. She's hilarious. She's just a dope human. And I was just like, I'm going to give you the song subjects and you have to pretend to be my conscious at therapy. Because at the time when I was doing that, I was going through a lot, and I tried therapy, and it was chaos. And it just wasn't what I needed. So that project kind of summed up like everything that was going on through me going through therapy, but also me learning to love the music, to just do something different with what I wanted to do. So We All Play Dumb was like a culmination of me. It was all me and my best friend in the world, my boy Grant, who, my engineer, he did the mixing. And actually, no, my boy Paco did the mixing for this one. My fault. I was going to get Grant involved, but I couldn't because he's big baller Grant. But Grant does most of my shit. He did like John Wick, and he did my last one. But the Take Comfort in Your Friends. But so this one, my boy Paco did this for me. And I was working on another project with my homegirl Paona, who's from she lives in Chicago now, but I knew she was from Jersey. And yeah, that project was just all me. It was like just me getting a lot off my chest. And then I got a red stamp on NotYaManz. And then I got a fucking red stamp on my own platform.
Man, shit. Well, what did they say about it? What did they say that made it earn the red stamp?
Oh, that dude. Well, one, I'm not going to say this is why, because I feel like he did give me a fair assessment. But this dude, his name was The Pure. He's from Long Island, I believe. He's gotten a lot of red stamps from me, especially from me. And he's kind of like a weird, like very eccentric new age rapper, like where he's just trying to reinvent the auto tune and make weird noises on his music type dude. So, you know, naturally, I don't like his music, but I've given him so many red stamps, and the way I do it, so I don't like seem biased to my own page, I let the public review our projects. So he reached out and I was like, shit, I got to give him a chance to, you know, get a review back at me. And he didn't like it. He said, you know, all the risks that I took, because that there's like a dance song on there. There's like a whole bunch of stuff. He just said that the risks pretty much weren't executed to the extent of someone who has the experience in that field. And I get that, you know, I've never put out a dance song before. You know, I had like all sorts of craziness. I'm like playing the piano, all this shit on there. And I get that. I mean, I still love that project. I still think I did good on it, but I get it. Like, you know, it's not going to be for everybody, but a lot of people liked it. A lot of people didn't. And it just is what it is. I still play a few of those songs, like when I get back on my live tip, but I played a lot of songs off of it live before, you know, we got locked down and shit like that. But for me, it was an experience. I spent a lot of time on it and I learned a lot while making it. And I think the biggest win for me when I made that project was when I finally listened to it and compared what I did versus where I was by the end of the project. I was super proud of myself, you know. Nice. But I got a red stamp.
Yeah, we all get those eventually, you know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness. But what was the critical reception though, besides the red stamps? Like, what was the critical reception, you know, when you put out that project?
When I put it out, man, it got a lot of love. A lot of people took the risks, like the risks that were taken. I mean, there was a song I had with that dude, Marshall Blue. And the one thing, the reception that I took the most into account for, one person really liked this, I can't remember the page. It might've been Ear Milk or something like that. But this blog page, they picked it up and they were like, they liked the pacing. And I took that to heart. I was like, good, because that pacing, like I told the story, like I was telling a story. And but the reception was dope. A lot of people, you know, a lot of my fans were like, no, we need you to rap again. We need, you know, that rappity rap shit. And I was like, that's cool. But I mean, the song that got the most love on there was the song that I wrote about my family. And because I didn't grow up too close with my family, and I just shared some like painful stories between like my three like most influential people in my life. Besides my grandma, and it was like my mom, my brother, and my uncle. And he's always been like a father figure, but like as much as like me and him are like fucking best friends now, we had moments, and I just expressed a lot of these moments, and that song probably got the best reception on the project. And then the last song, the bar fight song, people loved because it's literally the energy of someone who's drunk at a bar. Yeah. I start talking about Trump, I start talking about all sorts of shit. You know, but not like on like a super political. It's just me just being a dickhead, you know. It was my relapse after fucking therapy going, I need to change my life. I go back to drinking, you know. So but you know, it was a dope time. I'm glad I got that out of the way.
Good shit, man. And and following that, how'd you link up with Stella Wick? Like, you know, who hit up? Was it your idea, his? You get together?
So for John Wick, so Mostella, my man M, as I call him Orange, but M. So M was when I started NotYaManz. I made I made like a call for help on Facebook, and I was like, "Yo, people, I have a vision. I want to start something. It's a new you know passion project of mine. Who wants to be involved? Hit me up." And when people hit me up, I sent them like a 5-phase full-on plan. Like I had NotYaManz planned out for like 4 years in advance of what I wanted it to be, where I wanted it to go, what I wanted it to look like, and what I potentially would like it to turn into. So a couple of people hit me up, and he actually someone who wants to interview with you, my boy Status, but Status 631. But so he was friends with my boy Status, and I met him through Status, you know, from playing shows and shit like that. And he hit me up. He was like, "Yo, I'm down. I want to review some music." He's like, "I listen to a lot of different music. I'm down." So he was one of the first people in NotYaManz and from Long Island. And he also brought Walko on board. So Walko's the oldest member to date besides me. And Walko came in second. He was second wave because we've had a lot of people. And when I got Mark involved, he was like, he used to do EDM and all sorts of shit like that. And he was like, yeah, I always wanted to fuck around and do hip hop beats. I just never had an artist that I would like to do it with. So he started making beats. He ended up getting a new MPC. You know, I started giving him records and he was like, yo, I'm starting to really feel this. So I was like, all right. And he's like a big Griselda fan. He loves that street gritty drug shit. And he was like, I want to make something heavy, but he was like, let's do something where you do your depressive, you know, angry sad boy shit over some like gritty shit. And I was like, bet. So he sent me a batch and he was like, yo, I want a dope name. And he was like, Mustela Wick, because, you know, John Wick's a dope movie and a Mustela is a fucking crazy animal. So I was like, let's go, you know, and he was just like, let's do it. So I was like, Mustela Wick, John D. I'm like, John Wick, let's fucking do it. So we put out John Wick and we did good. That shit that shit went crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like people loved that one. And I marketed that like only on Instagram. I didn't do no paid ads or anything. I just let that do its thing. And it did really fucking good. It did really good. But this is also following. He did a tape prior. He did like a beat tape that featured like me, Kairu, and a couple other people because he used to go as Big Doom was his name. But then was second. Yeah.
The MF Doom influence. I see.
Yeah. Love, like obsessed with MF Doom. And I was like, you can't do that. But also it was also him paying homage to one of his homies who was like a big EDM guy who passed. But yeah.
Oh, okay, for sure. There's a piece of both of those guys. So I know we talked about NotYaManz a lot, but let's give us the actual history lesson of how this got started. What sparked that little thing? You know what I'm saying?
Oh man. So it's all because I love music and I always will love music. I love being a part of scenes. I love the music scene. So when I started rapping and really hitting the scene, I hit the underground scene hard. I was playing a bunch of shows. I was networking with everybody and all sorts of shit. And then I went to the Team Backpack Moolah, the Battle of Los Angeles. So I went to Moolah and I met thousands of rappers. I met rappers all over LA. And I had an idea. I wanted to start I did start it too, but I had an idea and I was just pitching it to people there. And I kind of got it started like when I was out there. I was like, yo, I want to start something for just underground rappers to keep like remember the old Funk Volume shit? And they used to have like competitions. So I was like, let's do something like this, but like for the underground, but like with a real like peanut gallery. I was like, and I was talking to a lot of artists. I'm like, what's your favorite thing about these competitions? And we all agreed, like some of our favorite things was like reading the comments, you know, people getting cooked and shit like that. And I was like, exactly. I'm like, that's that negative shit that we feel like we shouldn't love, but we love it. So I started a movement called the PTSD movement, and it was progress through self-destruction. So long story short, with all these rappers and all these producers that I met through Moolah, I was like, yo, let's work together. Send me some beats. And I started a Facebook group and it reached thousands of people. Mad rappers were in there. A lot of the rappers I still fuck with till this day were in there. And I was like, every fucking week, I'm going to post one beat and everybody has to spit their best 16, whether I give it a theme or not. Give me the most fire 16 you got. And then everyone's going to judge that 16 and see if it's whack, say if it's dope. And whoever gets the highest votes, the song is yours. And I'm going to put together a mixtape that I was going to fully fund and put out a mixtape, get everybody involved so everybody can get their spins. And we went on strong, bro. We had a lot of people fucking coming at each other. And I ended up putting out a mixtape, the PTSD Movement Volume 1, and it's dope. There's a lot of people on there. I got Fred the Godson on there, which was super dope. And rest in peace. I know. Yeah. And we ended up putting together a dope tape, and it felt good because it was like by the underground. Like it was all an underground effort. Like the producers were underground, the rappers were underground, and it was such a beautiful thing. And it was like a roast fest. People would come on to talk shit. And then, people turn into spam. They try to spam, sending stuff. But either way, I had that vision and I wanted to keep that going strong. And I didn't want to be like dictator to the page because then I'm stopping people from like, check out my freestyle, like fuck off, And then people started to, get weird. Funk Volume died. So everybody lost that edge. And then they realized there's other ways you can get popular with music. And SoundCloud started losing the money, that whole thing before, Chance the Rapper saved it. So I was like, all right, now I want to do something that's going to incorporate both. I want to do something that's going to get the mainstream and the new, new school and the old school and the underground. So I was like, I listen to music all the time. And you can ask anybody. I'm always like, yo, do you listen to this new album? They're like, I didn't even know that came out. And I'm just constantly loving it. Like, I'm like a traditional backpacker. Like, I love that type of shit, but I love like digging for crates, but not to sample, for just to listen. Like I love listening to anything that comes out. I try to look for like Friday calendars, like what's coming out. And I'm just always shopping music. So when I was just like, yo, I have an idea. So I spent like weeks just writing out this whole idea. I was like, I want to do a review page, but I want to do a page that's simple for the new age kids. So I thought of the emoji system because I was like, new age kids love emojis. Mm-hmm. You know, there's always the strong emoji on and 100 on posts. So I was like, emojis are digestible. And then I was like, I don't want to do no fucking huge story. This review is eccentric. And I use all these big words. I'm like, I want a straightforward review for the older heads who have short attention spans. So let's keep it under a paragraph. And then I was like, and this is before we didn't even have a number rating system, which we got later on. And then I was like, but I want something that's like visual, like people to be like, oh shit. And I was like, let's put a big fucking red stamp on it if it sucks, you know, and if it's good, let's put a big check mark. And I want it so big and obnoxious that you can hear it when you see it on Instagram, like, oof, red stamp, fuck. So I was like, all right, I was like, let's do this. And I recruited some people. I let them know. And I was like, and the main rule of NotYaManz is one listen, one fucking listen. We don't listen to stuff multiple times. I don't even, and it all factors considered. If you're depressed one morning and you do a review and it affected your review, fuck it, because that's reality. Not everybody's going to wake up loving it. Not everybody's going to wake up in the mood to listen to it. You review it as it is, like play the ball as it stands, like review it once. And if it didn't fucking make you feel something, then why does a mainstream artist deserve that respin and an underground artist doesn't? We even the playing field. So it's one listen and that's it. And it started to catch on and people were like, this is fucked. Our first review, we got fucking, we had a war. We did the one, it was Demrick's group with like Demrick and what's that dude who smokes a lot? It was like that whole team. It was like a super group they all put together. One last weekend or something, but it's like Demrick, Dizzy Wright, and a couple of those dudes. It was like a 6-man group. And that was our first review ever. And it was a big red stamp. And Demrick immediately in the comments crying. Immediately. And I'm like, bro, we don't even have followers yet. Like, we don't even have followers yet. And this dude who's like an established rapper comes in tears. So I'm like, bro, I know my idea is good. So I was like, let's fucking do it. And then people saw like, yo, celebrities are getting pissed. And I'm like, yo, I know. But then people started paying homage. Like Sunny Digital was like, yo, this is dope. And like, we had like Apathy showing us love. We have artists like RA and shit like that. And I was like, bro, we get this traction going. We could start interviewing these dudes. And we did. We interviewed a lot of dope dudes. And I'm going to start doing that again. But I was like, let's fucking go. And the reviews just kept coming out. And it was just offending people and late. Like we got blocked by Saweetie, fucking, what's that? Yeah, baby. What's his name? With the one eye. Fetty Wap. Fetty Wap blocked us. Quentin Miller blocked us. Fucking Saweetie, City Girls blocked us. Fucking like we've been blocked by so many celebrities. And we've had Tory Lanez coming at us in our comments. Like we said he looked like a Martian. Like we've had so many wars with names and it's fuck. I'm like, this is beautiful because they need that pressure. Mm-hmm. You know, shit ain't sweet just because your name is popular. Like this is the music world. So it's doing exactly what I want it to do. I want it to challenge people. And then we developed the number system. We used to do a lot more on the page. I used to have a lot more interaction where I would be like, yo, this rapper versus this rapper. And I would really dig deep, or this producer versus this producer, and get people voting. But a lot of what NotYaManz gives is like based off of what we get. And we get in trouble a lot with Instagram, and like shitty, salty rappers report our page when they don't like our review. We even had some reviews taken down because dudes reported the shit out of it and said it was bullying because they're soft. And, you know, it fucks up the algorithm. It fucks up the page. But we also like, there's people that are on our page all day, but they won't give us a follow or like. They only come on just to complain about red stamps. And there's just a lot of haters out there. But I know they're looking because I look at the insights. I can see we get a fucking 1,000 eyes on it, but we could barely break 20 likes. You know what I'm saying? Because people are soft. So it looks like we fucking have fake followers. It's like, no, you fuckers are here. We see you. But it's doing what it's doing, you know? But that's why, because of the whole limitations of like Instagram being shit and like nobody uses Facebook and Twitter for shit like that, I've been trying to branch off. So I have like the website, and I'm trying to I want to turn it into essentially like a radio station, but just like a constant just review of music, like a constant pressure. And like, I want underground and mainstream to coexist as far as just getting their asses kicked and reviewed and whatnot, you know, or getting their flowers if they deserve it.
No, most definitely, dude. And I like the station head thing you got going. I think it's another like thing that's gonna pop off later on where people can be able to go on there and start, you know, conversing with the people who are podcasting. That's like a big thing. Podcasts are huge right now. You know, so if you can find a way to have people come through and do it live, that's better for the page. That's
the thing. I would love for people to transition to station head because like Cardi B gave it like a really good big push at one point when that what was that other app with like the small like they run like seminars, but it was the talking one. I think it was called like Classroom or something. It was close to something like that.
I'm not sure about that.
I don't know.
Bars.
Huh?
I know bars, but I don't know if that's the one you're talking about.
It was this app for like people just did it to just talk.
Oh no, I don't remember.
I forgot what it was called, but everybody was like, yo, get me a pass to get in this app. It was like you know, and when I got in that app, I was like, oh, this is cool, but I want something legit. And Station Head got a big boost from Cardi B. That's essentially why they ended up getting 2 deals with like iTunes and Spotify. But the thing with that is like those are the main ones that people have, but a lot of people are weird with it because, you know, if they don't have it, if they have, you know, Tidal and shit like that. And like, I want to play music for it, and do like a legit running like radio show, because that's going to be the closest thing, but that's the closest thing. So people can see like the vision that I have for the page. Cause I want it to be like a radio show. Like I want it, instead of just being like, oh, we're a review page that has to post hip hop news. Like, I don't give a fuck who shot who. You know, let's talk about the music. Like, let's keep it music. Like, there's a reason they made a separate MTV after MTV turned into sitcoms where it's just MTV music. Like, let's keep it music. So that's what I want to be as far as that. Like, we can't just have, you know, nerds like Fantano being the only people reviewing music and writing fucking full on haikus and paragraphs and soliloquies and projects. And it's like, bro, who cares? I don't care about this person's last release. Like, I don't care. I care about what this project sounds like. Like, if you play this project to a stranger who's never listened to this guy, I want his opinion. I don't want the opinion of the diehard fan who was a fan of him when he was a baby. Like, no, like I want a person who's just like, oh, this is dope because this sounds like good music. I'm having a good time. My body says it's fun. That's what I want, you know?
Yeah, most definitely, bro. Have you ever considered doing the one thing again where like you like have certain beats where it was doper on it can be on an album? Because like I know Peter Rosenberg put out that album. And he rarely puts out shit. So have you thought about doing that again?
I would love to. I would love to do that. But the thing is, the good thing is with NotYaManz now, we have a dope team of artists. We recruited 2 other people. Like, we have artists on the team. And that's one thing I love about the page. As much as we talk our shit, we will back it up. Like, if someone wants to rap with us, we will rap. And, you know, and we make music. We'll let our music that's out there. It's in the public to get ripped apart. But I would love to do something like that. It's just the climate of music now is so selfish. You know what I'm saying? It's so selfish. And it's such a world where young kids are scared to jump into the music world because, I mean, obviously the music world's harsh and people are fucking, you know, leeches and vampires. But these upcoming kids, they don't need to rap anymore. So why would they want to when you can just blow up off of a TikTok, or you get the illusion that you can blow up easily off of a TikTok or a reel or go viral. So these kids don't want to rap anymore. So I don't think something like that would even stand a chance now because people don't want to rap anymore. Like there's barely any competition. Shout out to like Bars Kept and shit like that on Instagram for trying, but like artists don't want to rap anymore. You look at stuff like that, it's overrun by like the same 5 rappers who fucking do 10 entries to a competition. Like, come on. You feel me? Like, come on. It's supposed to be a one and done. We don't need your 10 entries. Like, at this point, write an album, bro. Like, cut the shit. So it's like, I would love to do that. I would love to see, we even had a beat battle on the page and we had people vote for the dudes. I would love to see that competition, but this generation, these kids are soft. Everything is, I'm just having fun. Everything is this, and there's no competitive edge, and that's trash. Like, hip hop is competitive. It was born off of competitiveness, and that doesn't mean it has to be bad. Like, it doesn't have to be negative. You don't have to fucking kill each other. The fact of the matter is, you just want to write better than someone. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So, you know, but right now, I mean, there's always hints of it. Like, you got the Lupe and all that shit going on, Royce. So there's that. So I, you know, who knows? But if I ever see an opportunity where I'm like, yo, this is going to be it, I'm bringing it back. Like, if NotYaManz blows up, the amount of shit that I would do for the underground and like for the kids upcoming is ridiculous. Cause like, I have ideas. I'm a thinker. I'm all about shit like that. Like, NotYaManz was like a weak thought. I have a billion ideas, you know, that I want to bring the shit to life. Like I would love to bring artists, just to spark artists to be fucking better and just want to write, you know, but you know.
Yeah, well, hopefully that happens soon. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's just like a NotYaManz compilation once a year, where you
I
have
would love to do that. I would love to have a NotYaManz compilation and have like all my favorite like producers, including myself, all produce the beats for it and just see how people work together. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah, dude. And you know, I mean,
And I would give everyone West Coast royalties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can get you all the West Coast people to mix with the East Coast, down South, maybe who else, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
all one compilation.
That would be fucking dope. And imagine like the variety and the mix of artists. Like there's people on NotYaManz's pages for damn near every mainstream artist that's buzzing. I have someone that I can pick off of the NotYaManz page. I'm like, they would sound better than them, or they would sound just like they could do this better. Like it's crazy.
Oh yeah, that's something that hopefully will happen. You know what I'm saying? But time will tell. Time will tell.
Yeah.
What's the best piece of advice that you can give a rapper coming into the game, and what's the best advice you've ever received?
Oh my God. I've received a lot of fucking advice, but best advice that I would give to an artist coming into the game now is honestly what they have to do now is learn the game. If you can rap and you know you're dope, learn marketing, learn the game. Do not think everything is easy. Like learn the behind the scenes shit, like dead ass, learn that. Listen and watch, see how things work. Don't believe in all the bullshit that's being put right in front of your face. Like really, really learn about it. Like it's because it's hard. It's a hard game. It's a hard game to play. And if you don't know the game and you go into it with all this hopes and all this talent, you're going to burn yourself out and you're going to fucking hate it. If you learn the game, then you'll learn how to pace yourself. You'll learn how to fucking, you know, put things out and not be discouraged by it getting, you know, going wood and shit like that. But the best advice, honestly, that I've ever heard, and it was someone pretty much reiterating what Tupac said to Snoop to me in their own fashion. But it was, yo, if you love something, do it so much so that it's second nature. You know what I'm saying? Like just do it so much that it just doesn't even, it's just regular to you. You know what I'm saying? And I love that. Like, that's why I wake up every day after my, you know, my morning meditation and shit. I do a song or a beat or both a day, every day. I try to finish a song, or I'll start a whole beat, or I'll finish a few verses, but every day I do something music. I play on my piano, something music, because it's that easy for me. And then it shows, like the progress shows. Cause if someone's ever taken me to the studio, they're always like, yo, he just fucking wrote the craziest shit in 15 fucking minutes. And I'm over here trying to figure out what I want to do with this song. And I'm like, yeah, because that shit it's automatic for me. Like, I don't believe in writer's block. I have too much to say. You know what I'm saying? I have way too fucking much to say. There's nothing that's going to stop me from saying what the fuck's on my mind. Like, I have a billion thoughts. To me, writer's block doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying?
Well, skip that question then.
No, to me, it doesn't exist, bro. Like, I have so much to say. Like, to me, it's like, bro, if you have nothing to say, then what the fuck are you doing with your life? There's so much shit. Like, you can't tell me a beat isn't giving you an idea. Like, and that's the thing. People want to box themselves in. Like, I only want to write about bitches. And they hear a song that doesn't make them think about bitches. They're like, I don't know what to write. And it's like, no, bro, like, write what the fuck you feel.
Yeah.
I can hear a beat and I'm like, I immediately know what the fuck I want to write about. And I'm just going about anything.
Yeah, that's a gift right there, bro. A lot of people I know, we all get rap
every day.
Rap
every day. Rap every day. And don't even do it to the same, just fucking any beat, bro. Mix it up and just write whatever comes to your mind. Even if the beat is whack, I'll write a whole verse about how the beat is garbage. Just fucking let it fly, bro. Let it fly. Because then you're dangerous, because then you could do anything.
Oh yeah, then anything like Ludacris in that Punk episode.
In that Punk, yeah, exactly. I think about that shit all the time. Ludacris in that Punk, he fucking killed it, and that beat was ass. He killed it. But shit like that, or imagine if, and the shit like that, that I always think about. Imagine if you got your shot. Imagine if there's an artist, you may not like him, but he's a fucking million stream artist. He's like, yo, I need you on a song, and he sends you some shit that you don't agree with. You'd still be able to write something dope.
Yeah, and you'll get that buzz. You'll get that fucking promotion.
Just for writing. You know what I'm saying? Just for fucking penning something down. And that's why I always tell people, I'm like, yo, if your fucking turnaround time is trash, like get it together. Like my turnaround time is usually 24 hours unless like something absolutely happened. But like 24 hours, I'm going to get you a verse if I didn't write it like as soon as you sent me the beat, because it's just like, it's here, you know, it's here. And it's like, unless you have an actual valid excuse, you know, because we all have lives, bro, features shouldn't take fucking weeks, shouldn't take months.
Nah.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. You're writing a few words, bro. Like imagine you told your fucking teacher, you know, oh, it's going to take me a couple months to do this essay. Fuck you. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're like, oh, you failed. You know?
Yo, that's true. It reminds me of, I saw this one YouTube video of this guy. I think his name was like Danny Gonzalez, where he talked about Logan Paul or no, the other bro. What the fuck is the other bro's name? Doesn't matter. Well, fucking, he talked about, he bragged about, oh, I wrote this song. It took me a whole day to write this song, bro. It's crazy. And then like, he's like, hold on, let's check something real quick. He goes, looks up Rihanna's hair. Say how much it took 20 minutes to write that song. All right, let's look at this other one. It only took 10 minutes. And it's like, so what are you doing all day? That's taking
a whole day. Yeah, a whole day. Why?
That was trash. Every day, bro. Oh my god.
Yeah. Like that's crazy. A whole day to write something, that's fucking crazy. But those are the people that you bring them to the studio. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna take this one home. Like, bro, you're not a writer. You know, you're not a rapper. Then fuck off. Unless you're trying to absolutely. The only time I'll ever take that long on a feature is if I got a feature from like a lyricist that I highly, highly respect and fear. Like if Napoleon the Legend was like, yo, I want to get you on a track, I'd be like, give me a week. Because then I'm not showering. I'm not turning on any lights. I'm going to be in pure darkness writing this verse. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. But other than that, it's like, yo, have fun. But like, honestly, sometimes that spark is enough. Like there's some of my favorite artists, like my boy Kyrie Wicks, my favorite, my homie. He's the best. He's one of my favorite artists just all around. He's dope. His pen is fucking ridiculous. And I love Kyrie because back in the day, I was like, yo, I want to work with him. I sent him a beat and I sent him my verse and I was like, let's see what he does. And he cooked me. And I was like, bet. And then he sent me something recently and I fucking flamed him. I went nuts. And I was like, that's the energy I'm talking about. And every time we go to write with each other, it's like, oh, who's writing first? And but like, we're so competitive. Me and him can't put out a bad song. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's fast. It's immediate. Like when me and him put out a song, Demigod, and I went absolutely batshit crazy on that song. Like, and I cooked him because I had a fucking chip on my shoulder. I wrote that verse and I swear to you, like 10, 15 minutes. That verse is like 32 bars of chaos.
Like 32 bars.
I went crazy on that song. And like, you got to hear it. I wrote a lot. And it's like, when I tell you my like rhyme structure on there is complex, everything is all over the place. You're gonna be like, bro, you wrote this like 15 minutes. Bro, I wanted it more than anything in the world, bro.
It's gonna put me to shame. My
dude,
shit.
Oh, yo, when we're done with this, I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna like, yo, check out this track.
Yeah, send me that, please.
Yeah. Like, Johnny went nuts. And I fit the theme because it's called Demigod. So I start talking about like, he's talking about like the demigod shit. I start talking about Haitian demigods and I reference them in each bar. Like it's so in depth. And I didn't need to go that crazy, but I needed my win back. I needed, you know, after he cooked me on a song, I needed him to understand. And he was like, I get it. And I was like, let's go. Dog. But that's why me and him work together so well. We want to kill each other on tracks.
That's what you need. It's like hearing Em and Royce go at it on that one.
They try to kill evil. That's one of the greatest albums of all time because of the competitiveness. They're trying to fucking embarrass each other. And it makes like that album is flawless.
It is. I literally saw it at Raspbian. Shout out to Raspbian. I wasn't even trying to buy an album. I just want to just check out it. I had no money. And then I saw that. I was like, oh, fuck you. I'm fucking buying it.
And that album had no marketing. Like no one saw it. Had one music video? It had Fastlane?
One. No, it's two. And then that Bruno Mars one that was kind of weak. Yeah.
And that album was fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
My fucking stereo was on fire.
Yo. Yeah. And that honestly, that album made me like lock in on Royce like heavy. I was like, if this dude literally went toe to toe with M and like damn near won a lot of those songs, I'm like, I need to know what the hell else he's going to do.
Oh yeah, definitely, dude. Like it put me new respect for him, and then Slaughterhouse even more. Like, yo, man, he even brought Slaughterhouse on the fucking track. That was
Slaughterhouse is fantastic. I miss Slaughterhouse. Just
fucking Bud, man. Why'd you quit?
Such a bird. He makes light skinned people look so bad, bro. He's such a bird.
He's one of the best rappers in that whole group.
He's so dope. He's so dope. And he just is a bird about everything. And it sucks because like that's ruining his career.
You look what he did with fucking Rory and Mal, bro. Like, what the fuck were you doing? He had a good thing going. I used to do that shit every
A
fucking day.
great thing going that could have literally went on forever. As long as there was news, you had something to talk about. As long as there was hip hop news, you had something to talk about.
Yeah, there's always hip hop news nowadays with the
Always
internet.
You don't even have to work anymore. He literally could just, I'm gonna go on TMZ, I'm gonna go on fucking City Boys and all these pages for 20 minutes a day. You got a whole episode.
Yeah. Oh my god. Well, people like to fuck up their own things when they think they're going good. You know, their
He's
egos.
a diva, bro. He's a big bitch. He's a diva.
Hope you don't watch this.
I hope he does.
I guess he's
retired. He won't rap at me. He's retired. Nah, man.
That's true. Huh? Never mind. Yeah, watch this shit. Fuck you, man.
Yeah, he's a bitch.
What's your top 5 favorite rappers?
Oh man, I knew that was gonna come.
Yeah,
so
gonna get ready.
So my top 5 favorite rappers. So Big Daddy Kane
nice.
is my goat. Big Daddy Kane. And so my list is very wild. So Big Daddy Kane, Cool G Rap, my two, like you know, and then we got Nas, Big Daddy Kane, Cool G Rap, Nas, Tupac, and Lupe Fiasco are my favorite rappers.
Lupe Fiasco. That's the first time, man.
So yeah, Lupe to me, his pen, to me, he has arguably like the best pen in hip hop because he is the master of simple, it being like heavy. Like he could write simple words, but they mean so much. And it's always like way deeper. Like only a scholar can cook together shit that he does. But and honorable mention. And the only reason he is just not, I can't permanently keep him on this list is because unfortunately he died and we didn't get enough. But his impact and how much I listen to him just regularly, Big L. It, you know, still the best, to me, the best puncher that's ever done it. And like, I still to this day listen to Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous, like regularly. Like, that's my workout go-to every time. That's my video. Whenever I play like Fight Night or the UFC game, like I'm putting that on, like, but
on all black all day and shit.
Oh yeah. Ducks better scat. When I used to do my hardcore band, I used to kick off like beat downs, like, you know, the parts of the song where people get violent. And I used to quote Big L all the fucking time, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I used to quote him all the fucking time. But yeah, those are my goats. But I mean, I love Brad. I have a lot, but people get mad at my Lupe thing. But it's like, bro, Lupe's pen is insane.
Dude, you don't sleep on fucking Lupe just because he's not the coolest or like the most like established or whatever the fuck you want to say.
Yeah,
like
smart. His pen is dope. Like he says shit and it like affects my life, bro. Like he wrote my favorite song by Lupe. Everybody wants to talk about, like, you know, that long ass fucking song where he rapped for 1 billion days and broke genius.com. But my favorite song by him, even though it's simple and it's super emotional, was Intruder Alert. And that song, like, is one, it's beautiful, could make you cry, but it's also like he's talking about shit. He's telling 3 stories of people that we could look at and see every single day and not know they're going through these things. And that song is so real to me and so heavy to me that it's just unbelievable. But then you have, like, you know, Gotta Eat, where he's literally breaking down all sorts of foods, but he's also describing a story about like corrupt priests and shit like that. And you know what I'm saying? Like that kind of level of depth. And it's nothing. He's not using big words. He's not saying all this. He's not doing no lyrical, miracle, spiritual shit. It's just simple, easy to digest words that just have layered meanings, and it gets the thought across. And it's like, that's so hard to do. That's harder than like, I'm gonna cook together the best metaphor ever. Like to have a song connect from front to back, that's literally like a triple entendre in every line and like 3 different themes and layers. That's hard, bro. But that's why he's like my favorite pen. And then, you know, Nas is the GOAT.
Yeah, his new album coming out looks fucking dope with Eminem and Lauryn Hill on feature.
EPMD song, bro.
I'm excited. I saw EPMD, bro.
I hope the Green Eye Bandit produced that track too, bro. I'm hyped. And Hit Boy's been killing it producing people's stuff, man. Shout out to Hit Boy coming back into the light, because Hit Boy had that stint where he was trying to rap for a bit and it was dope, but like nobody gave him love. So him being back on his production shit is cool.
Hell yeah. And what's been your high point in your career, you would say, so far?
My high point in my career?
Mm-hmm.
Sheesh. I mean, for my hardcore days, I think that was probably my high point, because like that was the most fun I ever had, and I played a lot of big shows. But I mean, probably hip hop wise, I played with like Onyx. I played with R.A. the Rugged Man. I won a competition to open up for DMX, and then he went to jail, which sucked. You know, I mean, the Onyx show and the RA show might be my favorite, because like I grew up loving Onyx, and RA's, a Long Island fucking god, Long Island legend. And I absolutely fuck with RA. So, playing a show with him was super dope. Those are like the peaks for me, because they were like those for me, they were highlights, but they were a local, but also opening up for EPMD and getting a spread on a website about it. And I had my bucket hat on. That's definitely like probably my favorite highlight. And meeting them was dope, which was super dope. Getting like some wisdom from them was super dope. So, I mean, those are like highlights for me, just like more so for like the wisdom that I got from it. And also just being able to rap, for people I grew up like listening to and admiring and like looking up to. So those are good stuff for me. But that's also the same thing with the hardcore stuff, was like me opening up for like bands like Madball and shit like that. So that's like a big deal for me, more so like just the wisdom and just that opportunity,
Hell yeah, bro. Fucking kind of jealous you got to meet him, man. That's fucking dope.
Yeah, shit.
What's been your biggest supporter throughout your whole career, you would say?
Who or what? What do you mean?
Like, who's been like the person who's been like, yo, I'm going to every one of your shows, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
All your shit. Like, who's been that one person in your life?
I have so I'm very big on the village mentality. I feel like the village is what the mainstream tries to break up. They try to ruin neighborhoods, and I believe in the village mentality. Your people around you, they help you raise your kids, all sorts of shit like that. You got to have a stable system. So I've been really close with my best friends since like elementary school and up for my whole life, and they're still my people. And not all of them are my biggest supporters, but there's a few of them that I truly, truly appreciate that come to all my shows. And I am an absolute fucking fan of theirs, but if I had to single them out for one person who is like my biggest supporter, but it's also kind of back and forth. Well, she was. I'm going to give her shit right now because I don't think she's my biggest supporter anymore. She was. But my homegirl, Pauna, who so long story short, she was like my first hip hop fan. I played like this show at Hofstra, a Hofstra house, like a fraternity house. And I played like a small set in a living room. And this small girl from Jersey who was like drunk was like, yeah, that was dope. And she was super cool. And me and her just started talking, being good friends. And then, a few years later, she's like, I want to make music. And I'm like, then do it. So I kind of like would talk to her about it. And now she's a full blown artist. And a few years ago, we finally got to make a project together. So it was kind of like my Padawan, like my protege, like me and her got to do music, and we made a dope EP. And like, I'm super proud of her. And now she's too Hollywood, so she don't like to fucking hit a nigga up anymore. But she was like, my biggest fan. But yeah. And right now, currently, my son is my biggest fucking fan. He sings all the shit he helps me with a lot of my music. He's in here singing my shit. He sings the hook for Bar Fight off of We All Play Dumb. So he wouldn't have given a red stamp. But that's him, so good for that.
Start young, bro. Give red stamps right away.
he's my biggest fan. He's also my biggest critic. He'll tell me, like, if I'll be in here making beats and shit, he'll be like, I don't like this. And I'm like, you got it. And I scrapped it. I'm like, it's done. Throw it out,
Kids are actually very savvy when it comes to good music, bro. Like, they know what's mainstream. They know what will work. They just love melody.
They just know what sounds good to them. And I love that. They just know what sounds fun, what makes them want to bop. And he's very good with it. And I'll be like, this isn't a bop. Throw it out. And he's the fucking best. But yeah, those are my fans, I guess you would say.
Come on. All right. So what projects you got in the works right now?
Woo-wee, your boy is sitting on music. So oh man, I'm the master at hoarding music. So I was trying to release, I might actually upload the single to come out tonight because I have a bunch of singles. But right now I'm currently sitting on a couple of projects. So I have one project with producer Sam DeGrouch, who's super dope and very big in the underground. Me and him are doing work right now, and that project's gonna be fucking rap. And then I got another project with this dude, the Spit Club, who's super fucking dope. He's from I think he's from New Mexico, and he's super fucking dope, sample heavy, very, very fun, like old school golden era sound. So that's gonna be another rap project. And then me and my boy Kairu Wick, we're putting out like a emo pop punk type project, which is gonna be very fun, but it's dope because we're both like super lyricists. So we're not just like slacking. Mm-hmm. Then I have another project, which is like an alternative project with my boy Dave. And that one's pretty much done. I got to get that out. But I got a lot of stuff in the cuff, so we're gonna be here for a bit. Nah. And then I got facts. So, and then I got another project that So I have a project with like a super a super big producer, and I'm kind of saving that because I want to use that, like, you know, that's going to be my last hurrah into not like the mainstream, but my last push. So I can finally just dial back and just make music for me. So I got this one big producer project coming out. I'm not going to, you know, for the people who know me, they know who the producer is, but you know, for me, it's a big deal. And that project, I'm still trying to figure out when I want to put that out. And then I have a project that I produce. I have a 3-piece EP, which might be my next thing that I put out. And I made like a lo-fi sad boy 3-piece. And it's probably the most I've ever worked on my production. It's like super in depth. It's very layered. And I had a really good time making it. It's a very emotional 3-piece. And it's something that I want to pitch to like HBO and a couple of things. I want to try to get it on Euphoria, honestly. But it's very lo-fi, very emotional, very real, very simple, digestible hooks, very catchy. So it's something that I'm very proud of. I spent a lot of time on it, and it's just a quick 3-piece, and it's going to fit for the season that we're kicking into, this after summer type jam. So that's going to be one that I'm really looking forward to. And I'm also trying to get, so I have like I call it my dad band, a hardcore band thing that I do. And I'm trying to get in the works of doing, we go by Black Villains, and I'm trying to do the second project. So the first project we did was the Marvel EP, and every song was based off of like a Black Marvel villain. So
that's
I
fucking dope.
wrote, so it was like a bunch of hardcore songs written from their perspective. So it's very aggressive. It's hard. It's got, you know, but I'm rapping too on it. So it's dope. So I'm working on, I want to like really get booted up on part 2 of that. And then I want to put out, and then I have a beat tape that I don't know if I'm going to put out yet or not, because I feel like it's a waste of beats, but it's a nice time. So maybe I'll find an artist, you know.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let's got some people who need it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm working on right now, currently, on top of the million other things that I do.
That's dope. I noticed when your albums, you have like very short EPs and very short projects and shit. Like, is there a reason for that, or like?
It's more so my attention span. I am pretty much like this. I put out a bunch of music based off of how I feel, and if my mood changes, then that project's done. So I'm an emotional dude. I'm light skinned. I'm a Pisces. So I'll have like I'll do like a full 5 songs because I was just in a bubble. And then once I'm like, oh man, I'm not in that headspace anymore, I'm like, I should put that out because it's done. You know, I finish it while I'm in that headspace because I do make the songs like that. So I like to do these short things, but I also I don't want to be put in a box. That's my like biggest fear, is in music, to be put in a box. I don't want people to be like, oh, you should do this or stick to this, or, you know, I want them to just be confused and be like, this motherfucker does whatever he wants. Yeah. So that's why I do the short stuff. But I you know, and honestly, it probably comes from the NotYaManz thing. I hate when projects are longer than like a certain amount of songs, so I just don't put them out. So I'll like.
Why is that though? Why is that though? Like, because I think like a 10 or 12 albums, I was like, that's decent. That's like a short album. That's a short album for me. And but I would imagine, you know, like,
it's the fear. I don't want to put out like a 12-piece that gets boring halfway through. Like, Take Comfort in Your Friends was actually 12 songs. And I cut it down to 7.
Damn.
So those songs are all going to be, those are all singles. The songs that like didn't make the cut are all singles. But you know, it was because what's funny is my engineer, he was like, yo, this is dope. But he was like, I don't think this is the best stuff you've ever put out. And it really discouraged me. And I was like, I'm fucking cutting it. I'm like, I almost didn't put it out. And I was like, you know, but I enjoyed it. You know, he just liked a little more aggressive rap, and he was being honest with me, which I love. But, you know, I was just like, I put a lot into this. I was depressed when I wrote this. The pandemic was happening. Like, my life almost got ruined. Like, this sucks. But, you know, looking back on it, I'm glad he said it to me. And now I have like 5 singles in the cuff that I just should be putting out, but I'd be forgetting. But, you know, I like to keep it short because I want people to have that satisfaction of like, fuck, I want a little bit more. And I want to do something to get people to go through my catalog, because I put out so much in the last few years. And they got a good amount of love, but I would like for people to go back through it, you know?
No, most definitely. You know, plus you get your stream money, because the shorter the thing is, the more money you make.
Yeah. I'm not worried about stream money. If I get any sort of money from streaming, go straight into NotYaManz.
Oh yeah. Plus you don't
any money is just going towards NotYaManz. People like, it's hard to run, like, to keep a page going. I got to pay for the Spotify. I got to pay for the website. Everything that comes in, I'm like, well, this goes to NotYaManz. Like,
well, luckily you got artists sometimes who like pay for certain albums to be reviewed here and there, you know.
Yo, we got a fucking 20-piece, and I was like, you have to pay for that. I'm not a 20-piece album. You kidding me? Fucking kidding me?
Sometimes I send you, like, I send you projects, like I try to send you like the non-deluxe versions, but somehow you always get the deluxe version. Like, I didn't mean that.
Which is fair. I'll do it because I feel like, you know, I hate when artists put out stuff and then they turn it into a deluxe. It's like, just give me all the songs so I can just get it over with. You know, like just give me it all so I can get it over with. So I don't mind. I'll do that every time you do that for me because I'm like, whatever. I'll do the longer one, which is cool.
For sure.
Because I don't do like with NotYaManz, like people don't realize, like, you know, we're not charging a lot because I'm not trying to like rob anybody or anything like that. I just was like, yo, I would like for the website to be paid, you know, and for the stuff like that, so we can just keep going. But I'm not like trying to hustle people because I want it to be affordable. Because like some of these, like look at fucking Adam 22 charging like $200 to review a single and shit like that. He charges crazy money for you to review on his podcast, and all he does is like, oh, the song's all right, it's cool. And I'm like,
name. It's all the name. That's what it is.
Yeah. So shit like that is like garbage to me. So I'm like, I'm not trying to kill people. Some pages, you know, offer a certain amount. And it's like, bro, if I'm listening to it once and you're essentially paying for my time, I'm going to charge you the way I would make money off my streams. And when you do you upload to publishers and shit, it's $1 a song, you know? And then I'm just like, yo, $1 a song and then an extra dollar because, you know, PayPal's going to have that extra fee. Fuck it. And then that you paid for the time. You know what I'm saying? You're not like coming out of pocket, you know, you're not dying. I'm not here to fucking rob people or do anything like that. So, you know, I try to keep it simple, you know, because like eventually I want to pay the boys. I want to pay, you know, the guys, you know, it's just like, but if I'm out here, you know, carrying this shit, I would like for the page and stuff to be paid for. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm fucking chopping the audio, doing the video, doing the podcast, posting everything, scheduling it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, fuck, I'm keeping up with the emails and people like, yo, what happened to this review? So it's like, if I'm doing the blunt of this and all you guys are doing are reviewing, of course I'm putting the money towards the website and shit like that. Like, why would I give you a couple bucks? I'd give you more to do, bro. Like, fuck, I'm not seeing the money. Like, this shit's going to keep us alive.
Okay.
You know? No.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add to the people out there at all?
Oh man, if you guys don't know about it, man, you can check out my brand and my platform. It's everything at NotYaManz, NotYaManz. And it's the website, it's the Instagram, Facebook, all that good shit. Where biggest reactions are going to be on Instagram. It's probably the easiest way to get to us and, you know, submit music to us. And all of my shit, if you're trying to check me out, man, on all streaming, I go by John D Contradiction. And all of my tags and all that shit is John D Who, because contradiction is a big ass fucking word. And I like to lock down my tags. So, hey, man, that's it, man. For anybody out there that checks this out, everybody that listens to this shit, yo, do what you got to do. Send us music. It's good to have critical ears. Make sure your circle is not a bunch of yes men and birds. And if you really want to get into the gauntlet and see if your shit's dope or not, send it to us or hit me up. I'm out here for features. I do production. I'm not taking people's money and shit like that. Like, I do features. Pretty much only way I'm charging for features if you're a fucking like loaded artist and you reach out to me just to fuck with you. But like, I don't charge for features. I love writing. I love doing this shit. And my production's not like, it's affordable. And I work with people. I make mine affordable, but I work with people. Like, if you want something changed, I'll change it. You want me to add shit, I'll add it. Like, I'll make it to your taste. Like, I'll do the production side too, where it's like, I want to executive produce and, you know, get the best outcome from it because I want you to put out dope music. That being said, there is a disclaimer. I will tell you if you doo-dooed on my beat. I'll be like, I don't like what you did to my beat. You can still have it, but it's whack. You know, I'll keep it a buck. But that's part of it. You got free consultation, baby. Like, that comes with it. But other than that, man, yo, check me out. And also, if you guys are gamers, man, you can check me and Kairu out. We have a gaming podcast and blog called Sticks and Stones Gaming. And I play a lot of video games because it's very fun to me. But I am a big advocate of the Oculus Quest 2. So message me, get my info. We can play some Oculus because that VR shit is my jam.
John, appreciate you being on the interview, bro.
Thanks for having me, man. I hope I was entertaining enough. I like to talk a lot. I know I got an issue with it, but you know.
Nah, it feels great time, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad you're part of this too, man. Okay, yeah, with that being said, like to make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell up above to get an alert when a new interview like this. You get on your phone, you can check it out right away. And the link down in the description below so you can check out all of the platforms that John's on, his Twitch, his Instagrams, his Spotify, everything, so you can check out his music. And with that being said, we're out to the next one.